Hi friends, my name is Kim Anderson. I'm really happy that you have made your way to my channel. That means that you are of a mind to do a little bit of movement today, and that's always a good thing. We have a great strong and fun practice in store today. That I think you're really gonna like. So we'll get started. Before we do, I'll just remind you that I do have new classes come out each week. So if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would be truly happy to have you join our little growing community here. So I thank you in advance, and we'll get started. We're going to get started with today's practice in a comfortable seated position. So cross-leg position, you always have the option, if you so choose, to sit on a block. It'll raise you up and you might find that a little bit more comfortable. Otherwise, just coming onto the ground and feeling nice and stable in your seat and letting your hands rest gently on your knees. Let your spine grow nice and tall and allow your eyes to drift closed. Feel your face begin to relax. And we have done the task of actually getting our body onto the mat. So let's take a couple of deep cleansing breaths and try to help our mind to arrive as well. So keeping your spine nice and tall, making sure that your hands are soft on your knees where they're resting. They're not grasping on really tightly, just a soft little touch. With your face completely soft, begin to inhale deeply into your nose and feel the expansion in your heart, in your chest. And then out of your mouth, exhale everything out. And pay attention that when you're exhaling everything out, you're not losing that height in your spine. So we want to stay nice and tall, and you'll feel that activating your core is going to help a lot to keep that upright position. Lengthening your spine again, deep inhale, hands are soft, face as well. Inhale into your nose, feel your lungs expanding. And with a soft jaw, open your lips and exhale everything out. And we're going to do that one more time. We're going to try to make this even longer and slower than the last. Inhale deeply into your nostrils. Feel that air as it travels down your throat, traveling into your lungs, expanding your chest, lifting your heart up, drop your shoulders, relax your face. And maintaining this height, open your lips and then exhale everything out. And close your mouth and remain here still. Beginning to breathe in and out through your nose and just feel the after effect of those 3 deep cleansing breaths. And throughout the practice, we're going to try to maintain our breathing really fluid, slow and deep. We begin to flutter our eyes open and leaving our hands where they are on our knees. Begin to activate your hands, pulling them against your knees, still lengthening in your spine, pulling your shoulders back, and feel your heart move forward and up. And you can follow your gaze in the direction that your heart is pointing and lengthen out your throat. And then as you exhale, begin to pull your belly button in, and you're going to round your spine. Begin to drop your gaze towards your belly button and open up that area in between your shoulder blades. Keep your feet active, pressing down into the mat. And we'll do this again with our breath. So inhaling, drawing forward, pulling our heart forward and up, lengthening our throat. And with a soft face, exhaling, starting to round your spine. It's like you're closing into yourself. and looking toward your navel, giving a lot of space in your upper back. Inhale, rocking forward one last time, lengthening your throat. And then exhale, starting to round and look toward your belly button. Inhale, coming up to center, lifting your hands up, and then on an exhale, begin to rotate toward the right for a gentle twist. Let your left hand rest on your right knee, and your right fingertips can touch the ground behind you as you begin to gaze over your right shoulder, but keep lifting the crown of your head up. Exhale here. And on an inhale, begin to lift your hands up, ground down into your seat. Try to tickle the ceiling with your fingers, and then on an exhale, rotating toward the left. Gentle twist to the other side, and just a gentle grasp of your right hand onto your left knee, lengthening in your spine as you inhale, and exhale, looking over your left shoulder. Inhaling, coming back to center, and exhale, gently roll over your knees and come into tabletop. So checking your alignment that you have wrists directly below your shoulders, knees directly below your hips. You can keep your toes pressing into the mat. Start to lengthen the crown of your head forward and lengthen your butt toward the bottom of the mat. So we're still looking to get some space in our spine as we push actively into our hands and push actively into our knees and our toes. On an inhale, start to dip down with your belly, but keep pulling your belly button in so you're not losing the activation. Drag your hands toward your knees. They don't move, but that's the direction that they're moving to activate your arms. And then exhale, rounding the spine again as you begin to drop your gaze in between your knees. Inhale to come back to center and begin to lengthen your right leg behind you and your left hand in front of you. Looking for space as you push your right foot back and push your left hand forward. So just like we were lengthening the crown of our head and our bum toward the top and the bottom of the mat, we're doing that now with our left hand and our right foot. Trying to get a lot of space. Keep that belly button pulling in. Your core is really active here. And on an exhale, left hand comes down. Turn your right foot so it's parallel to the bottom of the mat. And with your left toes still pushing in, or if you want to lengthen the top of your left foot onto the mat, inhale, pushing strongly into your right foot. Begin to lift your right hand up. So here, your left hand, your left knee, and your right foot are all aligned. Try to open up your right rib area, getting a little bit of space in there. And as you begin to exhale, you're going to start to pull your right fingers forward, stretching out so you can feel this in your whole right side body. And then coming down toward the mat with your right hand. And we're going to do a couple of circles. So inhaling as we come up with our right hand. And then exhaling as you lengthen forward and then come back down. Feel the contraction in your left side body as well. Inhaling one more time to come up. And then exhaling as you come back down. Inhale, lengthening your right hand back up to the sky, and then exhale, glance down at your left hand, bring your right hand to the ground, and lift your right leg again. So lengthening your right leg toward the back of the mat, your right foot. And from here, with your right foot flexed, start to shift your right foot in line with your right hip. And you're gonna feel a lot of things start to protest. Just stay with it, keep lengthening your head forward. And then gently exhale, bring your right foot down. So here your right foot is in line with your right hip. And you're gonna walk your hands back and come up to stand on your left knee and your right foot. So make sure that your right foot is parallel to the side of the mat and you're really firmly pressing down into the entire bottom of your right foot. You wanna use your entire bottom of your foot here. Right hand gently comes to the outside of your right hip, and on an inhale, lengthen your left hand up to the sky. And then exhale, you're gonna start to lengthen now your left side body. So the side that we were just contracting, we're now opening. And the side that we were just opening, you can really feel that contraction now. So try to push your left hip out to the side, get some space in between your ribs. If it's comfortable, you can continue to slide your right hand down and maybe come to the outside of your right calf and look up toward the ceiling. If you don't feel stable doing that, just keep your eyes focused to a point on the ground and make sure that it's comfortable on your neck wherever you choose to look. Inhale, coming back up with both hands, and then exhale, coming forward onto your hands. From here, begin to inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale gently and slowly, because we're not in a rush. Bring your right foot to the back of the mat. Place your toes down. And when you get your toes to the bottom of the mat, start to activate your hands by pushing them forward. And you're shifting your body back. Keep a soft bend in your elbows. And you're going to feel this lengthening in your calf, your right calf. Make sure that your jaw is nice and soft. We don't want to carry any tension in our face. And try to take notice here, even how your core is still activating as you're pushing your hands forward and shifting your right heel, lengthening it toward the back of your mat. And gently come back to center. From here, we'll go into the cat-cow again. So pushing your toes into the mat. Begin to activate hands toward knees, knees toward hands. Inhale, dropping your belly. It's like you're widening your butt toward the back of the mat and pulling your heart in between your arms as you lengthen your throat. And then exhale, feeling that wonderful sensation now of opening the area between your shoulder blades as you drop your gaze between your knees. Inhaling to come back to center. And exhale, we're going to go to the other side. So beginning to lengthen the left leg back toward the back of the mat. And lifting your right arm, hand, and fingers. Push your fingertips toward the top of the mat and push your left heel toward the back of the mat. So trying to lengthen and making sure that you're staying nice and strong in your core so you're not hammocking your belly down here. You want to stay level and parallel to your mat. Keep lengthening, keep your face soft. And then on an exhale, bring your right hand down. Begin to turn your left foot so it's parallel to the bottom of the mat, and then place it down. From here, you can lengthen out your foot or you can stay on toes. And inhale to lift your left hand up toward the sky. So find your stability first. You've got right hand, right knee, and left foot all aligned. Begin to open the area between your left ribs, crunching in, and crunching sounds bad, but you're contracting, so crunching into your right side. And then exhale as you lengthen your left arm. See how much length you can get in your left side body as you reach your fingertips forward, and then dropping them down to do a couple of circles. Keep a soft bend in your right elbow. Inhaling to come up, really controlled circles. And then exhaling to go forward and come down. One more time. Inhale, feel your heart shifting forward, opening up your chest. And then exhale as you come down. Inhale, back up with your left hand. Look down toward your right hand, and then gently place your left hand down. Lift your left leg, flexing your left foot and pushing out of your left heel. And then bringing your left leg parallel, keeping your ankle aligned with your left hip to the side. And keep it up for a minute. Try to lift a little more, 1 centimeter more, and then place your left foot down. So as we did on the other side, your left foot is in the same line as your left hip and your right knee. Begin to walk your hands back and come to stand on your right knee. Bring your left hand to the outside of your left hip and inhale, Gently lengthen your right hand up to the sky, and then begin to bring your right hand over toward the left. So lengthening out now your right side body. Again, you can slide your left hand down. If it's comfortable on the outside of your thigh, that's fine. If you've got a little more space, then you can walk your hand down to the outside of your left calf. Keep pushing your right side open and feel that strong contraction in your left side. Squeeze. If you feel okay, then you can look up toward the ceiling. Keep your face soft and breathe. Inhale to come back up with both hands, lengthen, and then exhale, bringing your hands forward and shifting forward so your shoulders are above your wrists. From here, take a deep inhale and exhale, lift your left leg directly up so it's still out to the side. And then gently shift your left leg back, your left foot toward the bottom of the mat. Gently place your toes down and activate your hands, pushing them forward. So it's like we're trying to lengthen the mat here. Belly button pulling in, lengthening your spine, but shifting your left heel back just so you can get into that thick part of your calf and begin to lengthen that out. And sometimes it feels better to just hold still in a position as you're elongating, but sometimes it might feel nice to kind of move. So if you want to shift forward and back a little bit, that's no problem. You've got to see what your body is asking you to do. And then gently come back to the center. Coming into tabletop again, toes pushing into the mat. Shift the crown of your head forward, your bum toward the back of the mat. On an inhale, drop your belly without losing the activation. Pull your heart forward, pushing tailbone back. And then exhale, giving yourself this self-massage as you open up your upper back between your shoulder blades. Inhale, come back to neutral. And then from here, exhale, you're gonna lift your knees and shift your hips up. So we're coming into the first downward facing dog. You want your hands to be shoulders distance apart, your feet are hips distance apart. Bend your knees slightly, push your tailbone up, and try to get some length in your spine. So trying to note in particular your side body, lengthening from your hands up to your armpits, but then from your armpits all the way up to your hips. So the area that we just elongated, try to really note that in particular here and create that same elongation. Now begin to shift the weight into your left foot and inhale, lift your right leg up. So coming into a three-leg downward dog. Bend your right knee, stack your right hip on top of your left hip, and then do a couple of circles with your leg. And they don't have to be perfect circles, but just getting into the hip and feeling it a little bit. And then inhale, coming back up with your hips stacked, bent knee. And on an inhale, come up onto your left toes. Bring your right knee forward and try to touch it somewhere in the vicinity of your right tricep. And try to squeeze, push into your hands, pull your belly button in, lengthen your head forward, round your upper back a little bit. Smile. Inhale. Don't kill me for asking you to smile. Inhale to come back, opening up your hips again, which usually feels pretty good. Coming forward now as you exhale, bending your right knee and trying to now come toward the left tricep. Squeezing into your core. Bending into your elbows a little bit. Try to lift your right knee a little bit closer to your left tricep. And then inhale to lengthen back, opening up your hips. One more time, right leg bent. This time, right leg bent, bring it in close to your heart, and then gently place your right foot behind your right hand and come onto your left knee. From here, come into low lunge. So bringing hands up, and here you can shift into your hips a little bit more, getting a little bit more of a stretch in your left hip flexor here by shifting your pelvis forward, but just feel into it. Don't do anything too exaggerated. It should feel good. Hands lifting up toward the sky. Relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, and lifting up your heart. Exhale, look toward the ground. Bring your hands down to the ground. From here, shift your hands a little bit forward and wider. So they're about the width of your mat. Come onto fingertips. And from here now, shift your hips back. So you're not elongating your right leg, but you just want to come out of that deeper left hip flexor stretch and bring your bum toward the back of the mat, just a little bit. From here, lift your right toes and turn them into the direction of your right thumb. So coming into lizard, your right foot is now at a 45-degree angle with the toes pointing toward your right thumb. From here, begin to lift the inside of your right foot. And as you do that, you can stay on your left knee, but continue to shift your hips back. And you're going to feel that in the outside of your right hip. Begin to drag your hands back and try to lengthen your heart forward. Forward, forward, as you're looking beyond the top of your mat. So try not to just look in between your hands, because then the tendency is to not elongate your spine. So if you look beyond the top of your mat, that's going to help you to keep elongating with every inhale. And then exhaling, see if you can maybe bend your elbows a little bit and start to lower your heart while you continue to elongate forward. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, bring your right foot flat and parallel to the side of the mat again. From here, lifting your left knee, inhale, and then exhale, elongate your right leg. So you can stay on your fingertips here if you have blocks and you want to use those. Then you can bring your hands onto blocks. You're on your left toes with your left heel lifted, pushing equally into both feet here and shifting your right hip back toward the back of the mat as you continue to drag your hands back to get some traction and pull your heart forward. So you're lengthening your spine here. You can feel that your heart is shifting again in the direction beyond the top of your mat. If you were using your blocks, you can put them to the side, bring your hands to the mat, and from here, you can push into the mat, pushing really strongly, opening the area between your shoulder blades, lifting onto your left toes. Now, you have two options here. You can bend your right leg and then step to the back of the mat into downward facing dog, or pushing into your hands, you can try to keep your right leg straight, lift it, and then step to the back of the mat. So it's fun to play and try new things, so I invite you to do that. Once you find your way back into downward facing dog, take a deep inhale into your nose, and then exhale out of your mouth. Begin to shift your weight into your right foot as you float your left leg up to the sky, bending your left leg, stacking your left hip over your right hip, and opening up. Try to keep your shoulders parallel here. So the left armpit tends to lift up, but keep them both parallel. And do a couple of circles here. So getting into your left hip, keep your right knee softly bent. Inhale, opening back up. And on an exhale, shifting your shoulders above your wrists as you try to bring your left knee to your left tricep. Relax your face. Try to keep pulling your belly button in, lengthening your head forward. One more inhale. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, lifting your left leg behind you, bending your knee. And again, opening up, stacking your hips. Take a deep, deep inhale as you lift your left knee a little bit higher.
And then on an exhale, shifting your left knee forward again and coming toward your right tricep. So you might not be anywhere close to your right arm, and that's fine. The point is to try and feel that strengthening in your core. Lift into your upper back by opening between your shoulder blades. And then inhale, bringing your left leg back up and stacking your hips. Air it out. And then begin to bend your left leg on your next exhale, shifting forward and stepping your left foot behind your left hand. Come onto your right knee. Coming into low lunge, inhale, bring your hands up to the sky. This time we're trying to get a little more length in our right hip flexor, so you can gently shift your whole caboose forward just a little bit. Shoulders relaxed and open up your heart. As you exhale, begin to bring your hands down. And as we did on the other side, we're gonna walk our hands slightly forward and wider. So the width of your mat. Once you get your hands in place, staying on fingertips, and if that's completely uncomfortable, here it takes some strength in your fingers to stay on your fingertips. If you want to put your hands flat, that's fine. You put your hands down flat. Otherwise, you stay on your fingertips, and from here, shift your bum in the direction of the back of the mat, but not too much, just a little bit. Just enough to kind of lift out of that deep hip flexor stretch on your right side. And then from here, lift your left toes, point them toward your left thumb, your left hand, and put the whole foot back down. From here, you're going to then lift the inside of your left foot, keep your bum moving back, push firmly into the left side of your left foot, and start to activate your hands back so you can draw your heart forward, lengthening in your spine. And again, you want to gaze beyond the top of your mat. So continuing to lengthen. And then if you feel like you've got space, you can start to exhale and bend your elbows and start to lower your heart, but not kind of dumping in toward the mat. You want to keep lengthening, so inhaling and then exhale, perhaps lowering your heart a little bit more. Keep your face soft. And then inhaling to come back up. Replace your foot as it was. So left foot is flat and parallel to the side of the mat. And from here, walking your hands back so they're on either side of your left foot. Lift your right knee and then exhale, start to lengthen your left leg. And lengthening your left leg by shifting your left hip back. You can keep a soft bend in both of your knees. Actually, I recommend that because then you are sure that you can actively push into both feet. Again, if you need blocks under your hands here, that can be quite useful. Start to activate your hands back, dragging them on the ground, and that's going to help pull your heart a little bit more forward. But as you pull your heart forward, keep moving your left hip away from your heart toward the back of the mat. Keep your jaw soft. And then from here, you can either bring your hands to the mat and pushing into your hands, bend your left leg underneath you and step back to downward facing dog. Or if you want to try, you can open that area in between your shoulder blades, push strongly into your hands, come high onto your right toes, and with a straight leg, lift up your left foot and then step to the back of the mat. Take a nice deep inhale into your nose and exhale out of your mouth. From here, begin to softly walk your feet up toward your hands. You can squat down, bring your hands behind you and come to sit. Nothing too fancy. Coming to sit on an inhale, lengthen your hands forward. And then on an exhale, gently roll yourself down. Try to really feel every vertebra as you're rolling onto your back, pulling your belly button in.
And once you get completely down on your back, inhale to bring your knees in toward your chest. Give yourself a little hug. And then exhale, lengthen out your right leg, pushing your right heel into the mat. Use your right hand to guide your left leg that's still bent over you. Open up your left arm toward the left, trying to draw your shoulder toward the mat. And if it's comfortable in your neck, your gaze can go toward the left. Getting in a beautiful spinal twist. Slowing your breath. Beginning to grow quiet. Inhale back to center. Squeeze your left leg, bring your right one up to meet it, squeeze them both, give yourself a good little hug. And then exhale, lengthen your left leg onto the ground. So when you lengthen your left leg, push your left heel into the mat. Use your left hand to now draw your bent right leg over to the left. Opening up your right arm, your right shoulder making its way toward the mat. And then gently come back to center, inhaling. Squeeze everything in, and if you'd like, you can lift your shoulder blades off the ground, bring your forehead toward your knees, curling into a tight little ball. Inhale. And then exhale, open everything up into Shavasana. So it's like spilling your body open into Shavasana. Noting the entire back part of your body that's pressing firmly into the mat, but not because you're activating it. Here we're not activating. We're just allowing that force of gravity to have its way with us and push us so we sink further and further into the ground. No resistance. No creating obstacles. The next inhale, softly bring your awareness back into the weightiness of your body. Begin and to feel all of the points on the ground that are touching. And then on the next inhale, start to really fill up your lungs. Feel your chest expanding. And it's like the top part of your body is filling with air and becoming lighter. And then exhale, releasing that and sinking again heavily into your mat. Start to draw your inner legs close together and bring your arms by your ears and give yourself a nice little stretch. So from your fingertips down to your toe tips, lengthening everything out. And then exhaling, letting it go. And just feeling that softness that you've created for yourself. When you feel ready, and of course you can stay here for as long as you'd like in Shavasana, or you can start to roll onto your side with your head on your arm. Noting your soft face and soft breathing. Getting ready to bring that with you as you integrate back into your day. Walking yourself back up to a seated position using your hands. And bringing your hands onto your knees or in prayer in front of your heart, whatever you'd like. You can still have your eyes closed. And we'll take one more deep inhale, just filling up every single new space that you've created. And exhale. I thank all of you for joining me here on the mat and for having taken the time for yourself to open up a little bit and work on some strengthening and some lengthening and just to move a bit. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again here soon.